Where is my... Okay. Ah! Okay. So, now it works. Well, thanks for coming to my stream. Excited to stream with y'all on this. It's kind of exciting. I haven't played Ace Attorney game in like forever. So we're gonna turn on the music and then get the game going. I never played the game before, so it's called The Great Ace Attorney Adventure, featuring an ancestor of the original games. So that's just take a look at the clip
the
right
Empire
here.
of Japan.
Oh.
After opening its doors,
They're in Britain, by the way.
A push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Ooh, someone's gonna get murdered. I knew it. Everyone's like, I can't believe that.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Wait, I'm the main character? The Bivin au le Carnaval. The Great Departure. Alright, 2nd November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature? Defendant Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I can't believe this is happening. How can it be just beyond the door to this quiet little chamber? Is this the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Uh-oh, bailiff. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your voice. Murder! Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Nurahado. I'm a second-year student at Imperial Yumi University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident, and now here I am, waiting my trial. That's enough! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. Let me turn down the gain a little bit, it's a little abusive. And who are you? I am this man's lawyer, and I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given us his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. Well, so you should hold your tongue, as I threaten you with a knife. This technicality, look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke. Yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing for? No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Ah! Though I must say, you've been all over the newspaper the past few days. Yume University professor, murder in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe in me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head higher. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asubi, my best friend. Also his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyer is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualification doesn't mean much. Yet. You say exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when this all started. Congratulations, Kazuma! It looks like you're going to get a study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, the government at least has acknowledged my academic achievement and success in court. So you will be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend, just like there's some mysterious aura glowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have crossed the ocean, to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the street of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only that were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get a visit from a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Okay. So it's the relationship established, so that's fun. It was straight after that when it happened. Asagi, may I have a word? Professor! I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has a personal significance to me, but never mind for now, Asagi. You should be going immediately to the judge's chamber. To His Excellency's chamber? Why? He's looking for you before. You advocating for the defense of the trial was a sudden decision. It seems that there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him in university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. Arigatou gozaimasu. This is getting awkward. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotowa. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at the Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotowa. I heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asagi. Asagi's been told me about you, and you and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, you have no doubt heard Asagi has been granted permission to go and study in Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I am afraid that the permission will be revoked and never be granted again. What? Yes, I suspected. You are not aware of this. I have a feeling that Asagi may have chosen to not tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that he fails. His dream should be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has chosen from a large number of applicants of overseas study, and it's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But, I didn't do it, I swear! I'm not a murderer! I'm sure that's true, nevertheless. I can assure you proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are a certain peculiarity about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understood. Once the proceeding has get underway... Huh? But what should I do? Well... Naturally, I'm not going to suggest to do anything that could lead to a conviction. Right. Right, so... As soon as this trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer the question before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what would the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusation brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! The court's about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem that our surreptitious discussion are to be cut short. Allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asaki must not be a defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as a defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? You want to be found guilty of failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point of anyone advocating for the likes of you anyways. This is Japan. This is it. If the trial goes badly, Cosmo's Dream will study abroad or over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolute no idea of what lays ahead, I embark on the unforgettable trial. My one and only chance to prove my innocence in the trial that will decide my destiny. Ha! 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 22nd November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court Judicial Courtroom number 2. So this is it, the courtroom. The Supreme Court of the Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the looks of the people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in here. The powers that have demanded it is a secret trial. A secret trial? A secret trial to close the ordinary member to the public. Only military and government official may attend. What? But why? It will become clear in time. But for now. Yeah, so like, you're a defendant, and you're not allowed to know the particularities of the trial, and your trial lawyer won't even tell you what's going on until the court is actually happening. I'm so screwed. Alright, let me double check on the volume. Okay, everything looks good. Oh, how cute. Let me see some history. The court will now hear... what voice should we do? We should, he looks like he has a low voice, but I can't make it lower than Kazuma's. So I'll just make a very professional, like, kind of like, old school. The court will now hear the trial for real Nosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency! As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense has made a last-minute request to change of applicant. That is correct, Your Excellency. I have made the request myself. Normal procedure is the defendant's advocacy be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I'm obliged to ask the final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer the question quickly. What should I do? Should I be a jerk? Alright, I'm gonna answer I do. Sounds more dramatic. I do! Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it is clear. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst?
I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Nodohodo, will be defending myself.
You'll be...
What?
What are you playing at, Ryunosuke?
Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial.
He did what?
He said that your dream of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose.
How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off.
No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go out well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you...
Yes. I knew that's how you feel. Which is exactly I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well. Does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Is not so, Naruhodo-sama.
Yes, exactly. Exactly why I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind is completely blank.
I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated the most heinous crime indeed.
As you're no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature? No, it wouldn't be a judicature. It should be pronounced judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the highest standard of conduct are expected at all present. Do I make myself clear, defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task that you have undertaken.
My competence? Exactly.
It's questioning your ability to do the job.
Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am.
So let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Yes!
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in the case.
Well, that's easy enough. I've heard the name more than times than I care to remember. But... wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous, I can't even remember that. What was it again?
Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank?
You know me so.
All the relevant information in the case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. If you ever find yourself forgotten something, just consult that, and it's all in there.
I just have to press E for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose.
Alright.
This is the list of evidence collected. Try switching to people instead of E. Okay, press E. You find the details of the victim here.
You'll find the details of the victim here. When you're done, just press Z to go back.
Okay, we got Kazuma Asagi, second year at Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, qualified defense lawyer as well. We got Yuji Mikotoba, 42 years old, a medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine, and Kazuma's mentor. Interesting, he might come in later. Takezuchi Achi, the lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. That's why he dresses like he's like 3,000 years old. And here comes our victim. John H. Wilson, age 47. 17 years old. Okay. The victim of this case, he is visiting professor of medicine of Yume University from the British Empire. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court records. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim and people section of the court's record and press R to present. Try now. I'm gonna press R.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of a esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed. Which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally, and as the most of you will be aware, you'll be just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiation. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Affiliation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of the Englishman has to be spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduate of the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it.
In this case, it's coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes the speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're the convenient, expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why the trial has this unusual peculiarity it is. Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim is an Englishman.
Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime.
Oh dear. Look at the time. I better be going. Alright.
Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay enjoying this place a little longer.
Oh, good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow.
Then, partner. Yeah, I'm actually having fun doing the courses. The line's less cringy than the Final Fantasy translation. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson.
Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruholo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did the Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death.
The cause of death. Well, obviously that was,
Yonosuke. Remember in the court? Every assertion must be backed with evidence.
By evidence? But how?
Find a piece of evidence show the professor's cause of death. And select present. Do it now!
So it's probably this one. Post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by a loss of blood from gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Okay, were we able to find the bullet? That's the question I'm going to ask. Okay, that's how present is.
Yes!
Yes! Well, according to this document, the victim suffered from a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Lord Yuri, you're
imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes. That's right. Post-mortem report.
In the West, a doctor dissects corpse to identify the cause of death in an autopsy.
But here in Japan, the police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusion that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested for any of this later. This is called the photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern such scorch mark around the bullet hole produced by gunpowder explosions. In other words, we should assume the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, counsel. The court will now accept the modern scientific evidence into the record.
Photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. The photographic print shows the victim. He was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photograph print. Well, there's something I've never seen before. It's certainly superior to drawing. The details are incredible.
Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution therefore calls its first witness, who was here at the scene of the crime when it happened.
Well, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. Professor? You mean Miss Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant.
Ah, of course. When he's speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asagi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial.
He's really been sticking his oar in, hasn't he?
Maybe, but any help can give me that will be greatly appreciated, Kazuma.
Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that stupid look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats.
Only if you rein in the crazy hairband and control this cold stares first. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course, my name is Sotoru Hosanaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called the Carnival.
Are you alright? You seem to be coughing out some,
It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me.
Well, really should. As everyone knows, the capital southeastern quarter has developed foreign visitors some years ago. It's become very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This green crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurant, an occasional eatery, 3 days ago.
Understood. Hosanaga-san, would you kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident? At once, sir.
No petty interjections from an aspiring law lawyer boy, please! Perspiring maybe, but what about aspiring?
It was after 2 p.m. on the day of question. We have a few diners at the time of the day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied.
That fits my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place.
It was then when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockeries and cutleries. Gunshot rang out, so I hurried out of the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes! Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up the gun I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him! I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to witness report of what he saw, you amateur. But... The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. We have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just sit quietly and listen to the witness, and watch my flowy hairband. If I may confirm one point later, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in the court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing besides the victim? No. There's no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and a university student. Huh? Wait, what did she just say? There was no one else around the table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? That's not something a waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Wait and see. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man I will be diligently to get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I've never got to the Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules of life, you know? If you don't say what you want to right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there's something I want to say, and I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There's a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Attention!
Dear me. What are we gonna do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceeding, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be the accursed, this mere student is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure what I saw. Also, Naga-san, is there any chance that you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of the event is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine with us. I don't believe it. I actually have the rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you like it. Let me see. Oh, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly in a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will now take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once! Well, of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm, collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. The head waiter's business card. Okay, we need to check out that business card. So, the court has now heard the precise of the case. Just a sec. I think we can examine this. So how do you examine? Space. Press space. See. So we need to figure out, like, if he walked in and he's able to see the person over here, right? If it's directly opposite, it might be blind sight. Okay. Wait, there is... There's nothing of particularity here, so we're gonna go back. Let's take a look at the thing again. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard from the restaurant, and only one person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on the trial today. I was saying that we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have a small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the detail of the case to the court, but I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue the matter further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence that sworn witness who was present at the scene of the crimes. Witnesses. What do you think? What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I was going to be found guilty one day or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial's unusual. Everyone keeps telling me the trial's unusual about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor McKillop said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared what lies befed if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing to now throw the trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If that accused in fact innocent, then the defense lawyer's duty-bound to prove the innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. And then we'll see how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Archie, would you continue with proceedings? Tex, well, you were warned, and young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil if I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck mouth of yours will be silenced forever. And the prosecution calls its next witness. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witness at once. Wait, you have two people on the stand? Witnesses, kindly say your names and occupation for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Issaya Nosa reporting to duty, sir. Myself, I find myself employed pariah of fine articles and antiquity from the florists of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble practices in the 2nd District. Curio Kurituka, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day of question. They must be at the diner on the other table the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually make tea the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question. Always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios that make for my business. I can't understand a word this old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular Le Carnaval. He seeks the potential customer that might have an interest in antique and tries to sell him the wares to him. He obviously targets Le Carnaval because it's a high-class restaurant of rich clientele. Right, I see. Though, to be honest, that sergeant does look like more like be a seller than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as a waltz. It was a black uniform rogue infantryman over there who has unloaded his first firearm, sir. This man's impossible to understand the other. But I'm almost sure I can hear the strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I'm feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will now hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw, precisely the moment the incident occurred. I just like want to say like Heil Hitler, like that's literally what he looks like. Yes, yes, sir. Standing by to the writing to report, sir. Unsavory memory of the most because sir, big afternoon. Just have both of them on the stand that same moment. What the witnesses saw. I was investigating regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden imperial of the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's action with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, that cowardly little weasel. Hey, that's a contradiction there already. Hey guys, remember, see, no exit wound, right? So, yeah, so that's... I was on my hands and knees investigating whereabouts of my mysterious ascended precious curio. Well, you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir, affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. That cruel and unforgiving enemy. Okay, there's like strange noises being made. Just a sec. Okay. That's just probably from the video game, because I'm hearing people, but it might not be for me. Okay. What times we live in, when an English gentleman will be assailed by the broad daylight. But that's ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Real Nosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. What an idiot. After I say hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table, sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down just as I was picking it up. Bang! Well, that's the truth. It's like, if you're defending him, you should have found out about this a long time ago. Like, there's obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimony, there's a clue to who that criminal was. There he is. Yonosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Did you go to law school or not? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant's clearly guilty. It's time to bring the despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony of the court has heard it eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of the trial. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst?
Well, I am, defense, demands the right to a cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki Tenpoint boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. How did he know? How did he know? The prosecution objects. There's a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he carry out cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuman's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witness. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what you have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't that obvious? You have to expose the lie in the witness statement. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that the soldier has to be alive. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. The key to just doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need is to present some decisive and indisputable evidence to prove the witness is lying. Now, let's go, Ryunosuke! Don't let them beat you!
Alright then! It's all or nothing.
Alright, what the witness saw. I was investigating regular beefsteak at the restaurant without a technical discussion with the old man. So how do I press? I press Q.
Yes!
You just have to press every statement. Why aren't you saying anything? Is there a new interrogation technique? I haven't actually thought of what I want to ask. Just ask anything about that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, This beefsteak you mentioned. What kind of food was that? Tishon! Beefsteak is the most delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on the cast iron grill, served on piping hot.
Oh.
If the food can receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be highly decorated as the cutlet.
Right. I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned. What kind of food is that?
Tishon!
Cutlet's
The most delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumb and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crime, and when you're released from prison, try it!
Yes, sir. On the double, sir.
Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to the questions that are relevant to the case?
Oh, oops, sorry. I'll do my best.
So, next question.
Is it just me, or keep hearing sort of wah crying in the noise? Oh.
Negative!
Well, at least we learned that he's a big beef lover.
Affirmative.
It's not no easy question to ask.
I myself was extolling the virtue of particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
Yeah, the problem is like how he's not sitting like. Yeah, you have to sit in certain position to be able to see that. We're gonna press.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, Koban boy.
Koban? You mean the Edo coin?
The days prior to the incident, a treasure exceptional for the value of the Hoi period entered into my possession. I betook myself to the restaurant following day with the said items selected, secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hope of affluting the cognizant praise of its indisputable value being present.
So, you're helping to sell your Koban coin to Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant. Yes, that's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert the penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing such precious combat. Isn't that so? Well...
You little upstart cadet! Do you want to add disrespecting superior officer to your list of crime, do you? Blatant insubordination!
No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might be the word I would be looking for.
In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that on the middle of the luncheon. There remains a precious few present with whom I should engage in discourse on the matter of business. A gentleman beside me who was scrapping with his brace field at the time was my sole prospect.
I see.
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time?
Affirmative! I saw you. Laughing, cackling, like a madman you're trained the barrel of your gun on an English civilian.
But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please.
What is it, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you made, it seems to me it must have been after you heard the gunshot you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it is? Well, if that's really the case, it would mean that you did in fact see the precise moment the killer actually fired the gun. R! And a double R! My sixth sense.
Sorry?
My sixth sense of danger, I picked up the wave of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means... a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet!
Surely that's not really possible. Is it?
Do you think I got where I am today in the army if I can sense danger in the air, son? Well... it would seem that the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed.
This is not good.
Okay, this is...
Yes!
The black uniform university cadet, you're saying that was...
Arr. I had just enough of your sauce, cadet! Who else would see around in black uniform?
Well, there's something sitting right next to me who fits the description as well, but...
It was you, you little weasel! You unloaded a firearm on that man! From behind his back! And you call yourself a citizen of a great empire of Nippon! You disgust me! What is it, real Musuke?
I'm not quite sure. There's something about that sergeant said. I can't put my fingers on it. Something's playing on my mind.
In that case, check over the details of the evidence you gather in the courtroom record. And if you find an inconsistency there with the witness I said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court, thrust it in the witness's face, and make them choke on it. Precious curio. I guess we can press to get more detail.
On your hands and knees. Could you explain that, please?
Oh, that's right. Speeding arthritis I was, in order to retrieve a lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? Cool one, of course! An exquisite Holy Arab Koban coin! I had just been showing the rare treasure of the military man that he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for briefest moments, there was no more. It simply vanished.
The cowbun vanished?
Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intrinsic intricacies of the floor in order to locate it. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? None other than that.
Though it was no concern of mine, I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure. So in fact, you didn't actually witness the precious moment when the incident occurred. Indeed. Myself, I did not. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, real no escape. We all know that there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this using evidence is that you have to collect it. You can examine and present the evidence while witness giving testimony by pressing E. Go through each witness statement in detail about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you will find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency? When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other, present your evidence with R and rip the witness apart. You're violent. Just be careful though. If you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you will be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense case will be fall apart and you will receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court records and find the inconsistency of the witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness statement over and over again, as many times as you like. So keep your head and measure in your attack. Good luck, partner. Alright, I know what I want to do. Alright, I think I want to do... not this statement. Yeah, it's this part. I want to present... See, because this has you can examine it. Yeah. It's coming from the front, so... What's the autopsy? So it's either these two. I don't know what. Sometimes it's a little vague which one's which, but yes! I think it's the obvious one. What? What are you playing at, cadet? What's the meaning of this insubordinate? It's called subordination. You're not saying it right. Thrusting some pornographic print on my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. Kiss, what nonsense? How can the print be possibly telling us what we don't know? Well, obviously, that are, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think that's proof beyond the doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in the Grand Courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require explanation. It could be more plain. So that would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance of photographic print presented from the evidence that there is a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. Sergeant, yes, no, sir. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity fire on the Englishman civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my very military-grade eyes, sir. Yes. But no, that can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound from the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain this? What was that? pop out from behind his back and push it back down again.
Certainly, there's a clear discrepancy with facts in here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At least, at this juncture, it would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm charge, my eyes were firmly fixed on delicious the Carnival steak, sir.
What?
The last testimony the court heard was proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. The witness, Sergeant Yasunosa, did not see the defendant firing the gun at all.
That's absurd.
And I think I come to the conclusion that we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Yeah! There's been a complete turnabout about the mood of this trial just from one discrepancy. So this is what an ace attorney's all about.
But I definitely saw him. The university cadet, he was pointing the firing directly at the victim's back.
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor.
And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either.
Oh, myself, I've already made it quite clear. This gunshot interested me not, and I was far too busy on the floors. Oh yes, you are looking at your combat points, aren't you?
Indeed, the prize Hoei Koban.
The hunting around under the table I was, and the case that mayhaps had fallen there. And then it happened.
You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did. I heeded it not, for I was concerned only in finding my sundered koi treasure.
Nothing can distract me! Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
I see.
That lamentable day, the precious Hoi Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous struggle pocketed the prize coin for himself.
As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report of Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony of the court has just been heard was inconclusive. No matter what subservient government must feel, it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Archie?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled the tiger at the front gate, but he will find the wolf at its back.
Huh?
My witness have further testimonies to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statement, it will become abundantly clear. And that is the only person who have possibly committed the despicable crime. An equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Rununhado. What?
He really seems to have a despicable opinions of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witness to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
It's clear as day, a critical glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir.
Excuse me, but is there something where someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think?
Affirmative, the newest member of the Noso family to the rising up through the ranks, sir, named Edo. Seeing that the straps is a sign of sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Edo. Ching shung. Your father's about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy.
Alright, what do you have for me, witness?
The
true culprit. Even if I saw it wasn't a precious moment of firearm discharge, it was almost the same thing. Yes, when this gun at the foreign man he was, at that young lad in black. That much I did myself didn't see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premise at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. At the present. Indeed, alone he was, that Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. These testimony are compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of your about bus already. There was a woman. There was a woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evidence beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed, the table at which the victim was dining, taken by the investigator immediately after the incident. As can be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The courtroom will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the courtroom records. Okay, let's see. Let's go check the court record. I don't understand. Bottle carbonated and a stick electrolysing of the victim's table. Let's take a look. So that's been used. That makes sense. So the chair was facing away from the table though. That is kind of weird. Like, why did he turn away from the table? Yeah. There's not much else though. I don't understand. What is going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw the woman. The waiter said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson kept the restaurant alone as well. But that is not true. I saw her. I swear to that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we are unable to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimony we have just heard leaves no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we know, and the ink is fresh on a treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Tetsuchi Achi, have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judges are ready to rule. Centauri, Inosuke, it's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, there's something going on behind the scenes. And now it's your chance to expose it, to draw the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examination in the witness, but make it quick, understood? The rules can be so unbending sometimes. Alright, I just pressed the crap out of these people.
Yes!
No, that's not the same thing at all. From start, I did not fire that gun. I have the difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what?
Tishon! The sound of a firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
I think that says it all, don't you? Let's not forget that T-Dealer witnessed the accused in the most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurikuta-san? Yes, pointing the gun was a full man he was, and laid back. I much myself see.
Yes!
Yes, it might be true that I was holding a gun at that point in time. But I already told you already. This not only because I picked it off the floor. Well, obviously, the carpet is the only way you can explain it away. I had only finished my drink and my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed the gun on the floor and Dr. Wilson speaks, so I picked it up. And at the exact moment, bang! A gunshot rang in my ears. Full event is now beyond our control. Life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated a testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the cold one on the floor and find myself equally testing predicament as well. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you. With a pistol in hand, standing over the floor.
Furthermore, the visual switch of premise at the time was confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone at the Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As if having been pains to point out again and again, I'm growing callous in my ear. And yet, no one appears to have caught even a glimpse of that woman. If I only have some more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her.
Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. That quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant.
I know. Of course, the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect.
Certainly, 2 p.m.'s neither there or there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there's a reason why the victim was eating at the time of the day. Why was he alone?
Yes, Your Excellency. There was indeed a reason. There was? Yes, it was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It was a medical report card used, Excellency. Oh, it seemed the victim had an appointment at the clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Hilltop Clinic. Yes, that will be here for the entry date for the question in question. 19th November, noon, to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident.
So the victim went with a late lunch following his appointment. That's the explanation that couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence as before because there's really no bearing on the case.
I wonder. What do you think, Real Nosy?
Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Yes.
Yes!
If I may, I would like to ask the medical record to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence will be extraneous. Not to mention the victim's movement prior to his arrival at the restaurant has no
Objection!
Whether or not they are concerned,
up to us to decide. We have the right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request from a submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Youngster, this is forever asserting their rights. The most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical record to the court record. Alright. Let's go take a read. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from a very possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right! I hear you. You can decide to prolong this trial as much as you like. But it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witnesses definitely have no room for doubt. And feel free to reiterate the accused, Kurotaku-zang. Yeah, let me see the new evidences. T? Nope, that's not what I want. I see G. Okay, is there a way for me to examine? Can I examine this? Oh, I can't. It won't let me examine. Hey. Does it have a date on it? Indeed, alone he was. The Englishman standing all by himself.
Yes!
So you actually saw him that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimony of the old man, and the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the inconsistency evidence that we have support the statement as well. As clear as be seen, there is not a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one. No. The antique dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? I'm perfectly honest, and I have absolutely no idea. I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Alright, last phrase. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. Yeah, I think this is
Yes!
the phrase. It could have been them. Why aren't you telling the truth? I'm like starting to like morph into a John Mulaney kind of voice. I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but... What did you say, cadet? I clearly remembered. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, defendant Naruhodo, that's just the case of the two witnesses alone. Sorry. The waiter, whose testimony in the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely, in other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman was indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands no mention of this phantom woman to be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Real Nosuke. Now we glean some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see how it brings any real discrepancy to the light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card I got before. Oh, you mean this?
Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine a little more detail.
How exactly?
You'll notice in some of the pieces, the evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press space and you can take a closer look at the piece in question.
Blah blah blah.
To flip. Okay, good. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it in all angles.
By using blah blah blah.
Come on. You can move the crosshair around to hunt for clues that might have been missed before. If the crosshair starts to pulsate, press space to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there's something new to be learned by examining it more in detail.
Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use another buttons. Okay. Come on.
Okay, so let's take a look.
I can't find anything out of the device.
It says medical report card required every visit.
It says Hada Kid Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics. It's almost like I hate hospitals and surgeries.
Are they all the same?
When I was 5, I got the cold ever had in my life. And I remember ever thought I felt awful already, and I have the heaviest injection in my right arm. Bah, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life!
Most people will give their right arm to only have a cold one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Yeah, so it looks like there's nothing here. Let's take a look at that.
It looks like the medical report card was first issued quite a long time ago.
Yes, probably a record of long-term treatment. That's why. The family doctor.
Well, I can't imagine. Going to the doctor, I mean, as long as I'm alive, I've never been consulting one.
Well, if you were dead, it would be no point. So, you don't like doctors then?
Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, and they give you painful injections. And then, they demand lots of money for you privilege. And for the privilege, all when you have the lowest ebb.
You sound like a model patient. But in fact, case of stubbornness, no less. For which the only cure is a very bitter medicine indeed. Cancel this discussion. Yeah, we already did that. Okay, what is this seal? Can't find anything else, please.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, there's an entry of the day when Professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia.
Extraction of molar? You mean he had his tooth taken out?
It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief.
Yes, I've heard of these anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe that there's anything that can actually stop you from feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from a medical practitioner as well.
Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effect passes.
Really?
Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. A medical report card's information has been updated in the court record.
With this new information, the meaning of one particular statement totally changes.
So I think we've listened to the testimony again, don't you?
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think it's like statement number 3.
think this is it. Just a sec. I feel like these are all the same statement. No other. No, therefore. Come on, no. This is my least favorite part of this game. It's just like you have to scroll through these like wall of text. Come on, go. Come on. Ah! There is a discrepancy somewhere. Yeah. In fact, he has not been brought to the courtroom's attention. He's right. Thinking Dr. Wilson's circumstance at the time of the incident put a particular statement totally different light. Always keep your eyes on the progress of the battle. That's the only short way to win. Okay, so I think it's statement number 4 that we need to present that. So let's go present statement number 4. Indeed, he's alone, that Englishman, dining all by himself. Let's go present something. Let's have a look. This is kind of a medical history. Oh no, that's not what I want. Shoot. Come on, let's go. You think he had 2 taken out? How do I get out of this? Oh, I hate this game. You would think that with like 5, like 10 games like this, they will have a way to fast forward to conversations. Like, if I really want to know what is being said, I'll just read history. There is a cautionary note for eating food. Oh, shoot, it's so long. Come on, let's go. Can I fast? Is there a way to fast forward this? Okay, so we're gonna leave. We're gonna present this.
Yes!
He's like so unsure. Well, I think. What about your withering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. When you raise your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose. Don't have to choose carefully. Just say what you are thinking. All right. Thanks for the advice. Kuta-san, this is a medical record belonging to... Oh shoot, I'm going too fast. I see. I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what's written on the report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, you forgot my words so soon, you amateur. Sorry, what? You're not to interrupt court proceeding with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words that you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. the afternoon the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. Grrr. But that's all right. Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, we believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimony of the court heard has been clear and concise. The medical record card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there's no one else beside the pale-faced pupil who could possibly participated at that time. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? The outburst has putrefied my body, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Or perhaps because the Hoda clinic which issued the report card is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What is this?
What is this now?
And furthermore, if I told you as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating.
Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what?
It's all written up in here. No food or drinks were other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't.
Korukuta-san.
Rat boy, what? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim didn't maybe eating anything at all.
No.
Additionally,
There's more?
you have assured the court with an unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case.
Oh.
Because the victim, as we know, just had one of his teeth extracted and still experiencing the effect of the anesthetic.
Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
But it is a nonsense, you little upstart. Oh, you're gonna name call now, huh? These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food the victim's table.
Objection!
Sure had. That very discrepancy we're talking about, or you cannot follow the logic.
How dare you?
I think it's fair to say the tables on the restaurant's case have been heard. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke?
Huh? Yes, most definitely.
Just so having undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat, let alone, which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel.
Counsel? Oh, that's me, isn't it?
Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of.
Got it! The person's eating the steak. The victim must have been... a third party. Obviously, it could have only been someone else who'd been sitting at the professional table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There's no such person. There was. Because I saw her.
When was the incident occur, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet, we have evidence of have eaten the steak on his table. Therefore, only one logical conclusion that there's been somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion, and this clears the witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly.
Kazuma? Are you insane? You would take it on the government?
Don't worry, counsel, I have no issues with you.
What do you mean? I have issues with them, those two witnesses in the stand.
What are you talking about? We have demonstrated evidence that the victim was not alone. So, it now turns out the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimony.
Obviously, you will be charged with perjury.
Perjury? Yes, and since the murder trial,
You will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in the murder? No, 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 no! No, 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 negative. There is no mention of this tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say well, you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they are told us. Oh no. Oh. What? What did you just say? Koretuta-san? Oh, no, 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 no. You were just following orders. Now, hold on, lad. I was just, Say you never saw the gentlewoman. Grr. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean... You saw the victim with a lady from overseas. What?
Objection!
What? What's the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements. Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of a tongue. Order, counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now you tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. Prosecution knows nothing of this. Now who's behind all this? Who tried to keep your mouth shut? That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way that they're reacting to this, I say they were sworn silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe all Auchi have any idea about this. What are you saying? I mean, to hold that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas on who might be behind this? If we can affirm who's tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need the names of whoever that was trying to make the witness to keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need to evidence. Make any informed accusations. Evidence proves whoever it was really held his or her power here. But how? How could we possibly... Remember who we made progress with, how we made progress before? Before, we examined the pistol evidence in more detail and found new clues as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers! If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I know nothing! And what does the defense have to say about all of this, well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first thing that comes to my head. Besides the prosecution, only person with the necessary influence to manipulate witnesses are... Eugene Mikotoba. Present.
Yes!
There! What do you make of that? I think, Counsel, that you may want to close your ears as well as your eyes. Otherwise, the sight of disappointment in the courtroom may very well deafen you. I picked the wrong one. Ah! If you feel you close your eyes in the crisis, might I suggest you keep your mouth shut next time too. Boom. Otherwise, I have to use the influence I have in this courtroom to shut it. Permanently. I don't know what is wrong with the prosecutor exactly, but he really tried to make me wince in pain sometimes. I I don't have a great deal of influence myself, but believe me, I can find other ways to make your mouth shut as well. Alright, let's not get angry, I'll think again. There must be clues somewhere in all the evidence in the court records. Actually, now that I think about it, there must be some piece of evidence I haven't thoroughly examined yet. Then what defense have to say about all this, huh? Well, Your Excellency. I don't have to think. I just have to go close my eyes and shout the first thing that comes to my head. Is that a bait, though? Besides the prosecution, only the person with the wrestling influence with the witness is... So... It's like, I actually... Can I read the evidences? It's like, it's either this guy or this guy. Yeah, it has to be someone alive. Yeah.
Yes!
I don't know why he went well. Surely that would be... Satoru Hasanaga-san. Hasanaga-san, the waiter who took the chance earlier. Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make the witness give false testimony? Not to mention that even the fact that head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I will have to agree with you. If that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were... Come on, Real Nosuke, time to hit this court with the truth. Truth about Satoru Hasanaga's real identity. See... that's not it. It's probably on here. See, you can see. This is clearly the record of some kind of medical treatment, and there is an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction with the use of anesthesia. Extraction? So he had a tooth out? Yes, it sounds like just before he went out to lunch, Dr. Wilson had a decay before it moved. Probably laughing gas so he couldn't feel anything. It's the latest medical investment in the West. Yes, blah 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 blah. It's impossible to imagine not being able to feel the pain though. There's a cautionary note on the end. Whoever wrote this says, no food, drink, or water for 3 hours post-procedure. Okay. So that is not it. Let's see. What about this? The plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. Suppose this showed the relative position of everything the moments from following the incident, but there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. Exactly. And that's not all. Look here at the upper left, where it says kitchen. Oh, yes. What is it? No one thought to use the complicated character to write kitchen, especially not if they're in a hurry. You mean you don't remember the characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Real Nosuke. Ah, we got him. He's an inspector. Well, that's unexpected. What is it? Look, do you see what it says the witness name here is? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, the business card tends to show the person's name. That's the sort of point. Not the name that's inspected, it's the job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hasunaga, Private Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau? Inspector, what on earth? I have no idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence if they're willing something here. The waiter's business card information has been updated. Ooh. It's a really dumb,
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. While I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, it's in the back of the card. It's the back of the card that is of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said, the front! Yes! It's in front of the back of the card! That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Asanaga-san drew a sketch that plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of the business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. With waiter's profession, but that's surely... Oh, good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't been heard any mention this before? Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was in fact the waiter who gave you the order. Was it he who told you not to mention you've seen the foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Inspector Hasanaga? That's a lot of witnesses. I was worried something like this might happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized that it was a possibility. I'm not doing his voice. The court should take this plan as the court record as evidence. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember it now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I tried to carry all the investigation flawlessly. It was my guiding principle. I can't let myself distracted when I make that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you meant to say, you really are a detective! But why would a detective be working at a restaurant as a waiter? Ah, of course, your salary... Wait. Salary must be terrible! I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there must have been a serious incident at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incident at the restaurant? What kind of incident? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to the case of the homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hasanaga. But will you elaborate on one point for the court? Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard the new information from the two witnesses beside you. At the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. And if that indeed true, clearly you would have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to the other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that your professional capacity as police officer are required to witness to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. Are you the head boss? Bang. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim slumbered in his chair beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting beside the victim, same table with a young lady who I'm guessed to be an English woman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed the restaurant and reported the incident to the borough. It was then I received some special orders. Special orders? Do you mean to say, remove the English women from the setting at once? It was made clear that the English woman's presence in the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this English woman was the killer? I think it could be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views his friendly terms of his relationship with Britain more highly than anything else at the moment. An Englishwoman has a murder on herself. To name the Englishwoman as a primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that will be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom woman in the case. But it's not right! Yeah, let's go, Cosma. One possibility does spring in mind. What do you mean, Cosma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from the Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain one of them, studying in the medical faculty research laboratory, is a young English woman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're a chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean? When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it'd be prudent to check her identity first. And then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting in the university professor's table was certain Miss Giselle Brett. She's indeed the foreign student studying in research laboratory at Yume University Medical Facility. What is happening here? I admit, under orders from the police bureau, I erase all evidence of the lady's presence at the scene, and order the witness to make no mention of her in the testimony. It must be now up to your excellencies to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered the premise is false, it would be a desecration of justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at
Objection!
But, Your Excellency, that would be missing the new deadline ruling of the order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government would surely be displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any to influence the proceeding of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes, sir? You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means that you're gonna go against special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigation flawlessly. So, it wouldn't be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. Alright, I think we're at a really good critical point. The court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution will call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes! Your Excellency! Good. Then we have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Alright, thanks everyone for joining me in this chapter of Turnabout Departure, in which we went from being the defendant to a possible suspect. So that's really good. For winning. It's totally linear game, so there's nothing beyond that. But I think this is a good stopping point. The story just kind of have like a nice. So it's to find out who the girl is and who the witness is, and I don't know. I have a feeling that she is going to be a brat, and that's kind of my prediction for the story. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that the sound is going through all of this. I kind of went on the premise of that while I'm recording this, so hopefully everything went through. And have a good day, everyone, and enjoy your week.